The Galactic Empire promised destruction. Humanity just chuckled. The stars above Earth looked calm, peaceful, as if nothing in the galaxy could touch the small blue planet. Yet far beyond the solar system, in the cold darkness of space, ships of the Galactic Empire moved like shadows. Millions of tons of metal, armed with weapons that could destroy whole cities, sailed silently toward a planet that, by the Empire's reckoning, had no hope. On Earth, people went about their lives as usual. In the city of Denver, Alex Carter walked through a crowded street, listening to the chatter of children playing and the hum of vehicles. His eyes, sharp and thoughtful, scanned the sky from time to time. He knew that the Empire's arrival could not stay hidden for long, but he also knew humanity had a habit of surviving against impossible odds. Alex was part of a group that prepared quietly, without showing the world how serious things had become. In another city, Claire Brown worked in a small lab filled with machines and screens. She and her team were testing new energy shields that could protect ships from the Empire's weapons. Claire tapped a keyboard and watched numbers flash across her screen. "This model could hold for 30 minutes against their beam weapons," she said. Her assistant, Lisa Morgan, nodded. Lisa had joined the team from a civilian space program, but she had quickly proven herself in emergency simulations. 30 minutes is good, Lisa said, but we need more time. If they hit a colony, 30 minutes will not be enough. Meanwhile, in orbit above the Earth, Ben Wilson piloted a small observation ship. His eyes were fixed on the distant dots that marked the Empire's ships. He could feel the tension in his chest, but he also felt something else, a quiet confidence. Humans had survived floods, wars, and even atomic explosions. Against the Empire, he believed they could find a way to survive too. Ben adjusted his controls, sending a small drone ahead to scan the enemy fleet. The drone returned with images of massive battleships, their surfaces gleaming in the light of a distant sun. He frowned. "They are bigger than anything we have," he said quietly, "but bigger does not always mean stronger." Back on Earth, news of the Empire's arrival spread slowly. Governments held meetings in secure bunkers. Most leaders panicked, but some, like Alex, remained calm. He watched a screen that displayed the Empire's message. It was simple, cold, and threatening. It demanded that humans surrender immediately. If they refused, the message promised destruction of all life on Earth. The words were designed to terrify, but when Alex read them, he felt a small smile cross his face. Humans had faced worse. Claire and Lisa watched the same message from their lab. Claire leaned back in her chair and said, "They think this will scare us." Lisa shook her head. "They do not understand us. Humans do not give up so easily. They underestimate our patience and our creativity." Across the Atlantic, in a small space observatory, Marcus Lee, another officer preparing for the Empire, studied the data from Earth's telescopes. He had been tracking alien fleets for years, and he knew that underestimating the Empire could be fatal. But Marcus also saw patterns in the fleet that gave him hope. They moved slowly, assuming no one would resist. Marcus wrote a report to the other officers. "We have time. They do not expect resistance yet. We need to use this." The Empire's fleet moved closer each day, but the humans did not panic. Instead, they studied every ship, every weapon, every formation. They built simulations of battles, practiced maneuvers, and experimented with new technologies. Even ordinary people helped. Factories that once built cars now built small, fast spaceships. Universities designed new sensors and shields. The world united quietly, without showing the Empire that anything was being done. One evening, Alex walked through a quiet park, thinking about what was to come. He looked at the stars and felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. He knew the Empire believed humans would beg for mercy. They believed humans would fall in line as other civilizations had. But humans were different. Humans adapted, learned, and survived. Humans could laugh at danger because they always found a way to fight back. Claire and Lisa worked late into the night. Their screens glowed with simulations of alien weapons firing on human ships. Claire's hands moved quickly over the controls, adjusting shield frequencies and energy flows. "We might not be able to stop everything," she said, "but we can survive the first strike." Lisa nodded. "And surviving is the first step. Once we survive, we can fight back." Ben Wilson monitored the skies from orbit. He spoke over a secure channel to Alex. "They are closer than we thought. Some of their ships are already near Mars. If they come for Earth, they will hit fast and hard." Alex replied calmly, Then we will be ready. The Empire is strong, but they are predictable. We are not predictable. As the Empire's ships entered the outer solar system, people on Earth saw bright streaks of light in the night sky. Panic spread in some cities, but most people simply watched. Governments sent out evacuation warnings, but most humans did not move. They did not scream. They did not pray for salvation. They prepared in small ways for the coming storm. In a hidden base beneath the Rocky Mountains, Alex gathered his officers. The room was quiet, filled with maps and holographic displays. "They think we are weak," he said. "They think we will beg. They are wrong. We will survive. We will find their weaknesses, and when the time comes, we will show them what humanity can do." Claire spoke next. "Our shields are ready for testing. We can protect a small fleet and a colony if needed." "It is not enough for everything, but it is a start," Lisa added. "We can use their size against them. They are slow, they are confident, and they do not understand human tactics. We can surprise them." Far above, Ben piloted a reconnaissance ship, scanning the Empire's fleet. He saw massive engines glowing in the cold void of space, saw the weapons that could tear cities apart, and felt the weight of what humanity faced. Yet he also saw opportunity. "They move like a single mind," he said, "and we move like many minds. They may be strong, but they are predictable." On Earth, ordinary people also felt the tension. Families gathered in homes, schools stayed open as much as possible, and scientists worked quietly in labs and observatories. Humans did not know if they would survive the first strike, but they refused to surrender. Children asked questions about the stars, and teachers answered, keeping hope alive. Workers built, repaired, and prepared, trusting in human ingenuity and courage. The Empire sent more messages, each more threatening than the last. They demanded surrender, obedience, and tribute, yet Earth did not respond. Instead, leaders like Alex, Claire, Marcus, and Ben studied the messages, learning from them, preparing for the day when silence would end. The Empire interpreted the silence as fear or confusion, but in reality, it was patience and strategy. The first night the Empire entered the solar system, Earth's people looked up and saw the shining fleet. It was beautiful, terrifying, and silent. Yet humanity did not tremble. They had survived fire, ice, disease, and war. They had survived countless disasters on their small, blue planet. Now humanity faced the galaxy's greatest threat, and humans, as always, would not run. They would survive, and they would adapt. In the quiet of the base, Alex spoke to his team. "We cannot stop them alone. We do not have the numbers, the weapons, or the experience they have. But we have something they will never understand. We have humans, and humans do not give up." Claire smiled. "Then we fight the way humans always fight, cleverly, patiently, and together." Lisa added, "And if they expect fear, they will be disappointed. Humans laugh in the face of danger. That is our strength." As Earth turned beneath the stars, the Empire waited, confident, unaware that the people they planned to destroy were already planning their survival. The galaxy might see humans as weak, small, and insignificant. But humanity knew the truth. Humans were not just survivors, they were challengers, thinkers, fighters, and dreamers. And for the first time in millions of years, the Empire would learn that the humans they planned to destroy did not fear them. Humans did not bow. Humans did not beg. Humans simply prepared, quietly, waiting for the moment when their laugh would echo across the stars. The humans did not wait for the Empire to strike. They moved quietly, in ways the galaxy would never expect. Across Earth, factories that once built ordinary machines now built ships, drones, and weapons. Engineers worked day and night, refining designs, testing new materials, and making sure every device could survive the Empire's attacks. Alex Carter stood on a platform overlooking a massive hangar. Hundreds of ships lined the bays, some small and fast, others bigger and slow. Crew members ran across the decks, carrying tools, adjusting engines, and checking weapons. Alex watched carefully. Every ship, every engine, every system had to work perfectly. One mistake could cost lives, yet he also knew humans had a way of learning from mistakes faster than anyone. "Are the new shields ready for testing?" Alex asked. Claire Brown stepped beside him. Her face was tired but calm. "Almost. We finished the energy modulation yesterday. Today we will run the final tests. If it works, even our smallest ships can survive a direct hit from their weapons for a few minutes." Alex nodded. "A few minutes is enough. That is all we need to survive the first strike and respond." Far above Earth, Ben Wilson piloted a reconnaissance ship. He flew among the clouds of debris and satellites, scanning for any sign of the Empire's movements. His ship was small, fast, and almost invisible to their sensors. He could see the enormous warships beyond Mars, moving slowly, confident that humans were afraid. Ben smiled. "They do not know us at all," he said into his headset. "They think we will panic. They think we will run. They are about to learn something very different." In a hidden lab in Houston, Lisa Morgan worked with a group of scientists on a new kind of sensor. "These sensors will let us see their ships before they see us," she explained. "We can track every movement, every formation, and plan our attacks before they even realize it." One of the young engineers asked. "But what if they detect us first?" Lisa shook her head. "Then we adapt. That is what humans do. They think they are the hunters, but sometimes the hunted are smarter." Meanwhile, in the Rocky Mountain base, Alex gathered the fleet commanders for a strategy meeting. They sat around a large table with holographic displays of the solar system and the approaching Empire fleet. "They believe size is everything," Alex said. "They have fleets larger than anything we have, but size does not win battles. Cleverness, speed, and flexibility do." Marcus Lee, a calm and analytical officer, studied the hologram. "Their ships are strong, but they move in predictable patterns. If we can break their formation, even for a few minutes, we can do serious damage." "Then we focus on small strikes," Alex said. "Hit weak points, retreat, and force them to waste resources." "Every mistake they make is ours to use," Claire added, "and our shields can protect small groups of ships long enough for them to escape. They cannot destroy everything at once, not if we coordinate correctly." Ben spoke from orbit. "I have drones ready. We can scout their fleet without risking ships. We can test their patterns, see how they react. They will never expect us to learn so quickly." As the days passed, humans worked harder. Factories, labs, and shipyards became the heart of a quiet revolution. Ordinary people joined in. Teachers, engineers, students, and farmers all contributed in some way. No one thought about fame or reward. They were preparing for survival, and for humanity, survival was always a shared effort. Lisa and Claire spent long hours running simulations. They tested how ships could dodge energy beams, how shields could absorb blasts, and how humans could use even ordinary resources in clever ways. "It is not just about fighting," Lisa said. "It is about learning, predicting, and being ready for anything." In orbit, Ben flew among asteroids, practicing maneuvers with his small ship. He imagined how a human squadron could strike an Imperial fleet, dodging beams, using debris for cover, and attacking weak points. Each day he improved the plans, each day he grew more confident. Alex visited colonies on the edge of the solar system. He saw people working together, children helping by carrying tools, engineers fixing equipment, and soldiers preparing for combat. He realized that humans were not just strong because of their ships or weapons. They were strong because they were united. Even as the Empire sent more messages, threatening humanity with annihilation, humans did not respond with fear. They did not panic. Instead, they studied each message carefully. Each threat became a lesson, each warning a clue to the Empire's assumptions. The humans learned from the Empire's arrogance and used it to prepare. In one of the simulation rooms, Claire turned to her assistant. "They think we are small and weak. They think we will run. We have to show them that humans survive by thinking, by adapting, by working together." Lisa smiled. "And when the time comes, they will regret underestimating us." As the Empire moved closer to Earth, humans began to practice in small groups. Ships flew in formations, then split and regrouped. Crews tested communication systems under simulated attacks. Drones carried out reconnaissance missions. Humans were learning how to move, strike, and survive under pressure. Alex watched a training session from a control tower. Ships darted among simulated explosions, dodging blasts and striking targets. "They are learning faster than I expected," he said. "Humans always do. We do not give up and we do not stop trying." Ben monitored the movements from orbit. He noticed patterns in the Empire fleet. Their confidence was their weakness. Their slow formation made them predictable. "We can use this," he said over the channel. "We can force them to make mistakes, and every mistake will cost them." Claire continued to refine the shields. "We cannot make a ship invincible," she said, "but we can make them survive long enough to fight back. We can give them the chance to turn the tide." The Empire, confident and arrogant, still did not realize the scale of the human effort. They assumed Earth would surrender quickly. that humans would beg for mercy. They did not understand patience, planning, or human ingenuity. Meanwhile, Alex organized small squads of ships for reconnaissance and rapid response. Each squad was trained to think independently, to adapt, and to act quickly. "We cannot match them in strength," Alex said, "but we can match them in thinking. We can do things they do not expect." Lisa and Claire worked on a special project. They combined sensors, shields, and drones into a single system that could warn a fleet of incoming attacks and protect ships automatically. "It is not perfect," Claire said. "But it is better than nothing. It gives us a chance." Ben prepared his crew. "We may not win every fight," he said, "but we will survive the first strike. That is all we need. Once we survive, we can change the battle." As the days passed, humans grew more confident. The Empire moved slower than expected, assuming Earth would give in. Humans used this time to prepare in secret, learning everything they could about the enemy. They built ships faster, trained crews harder, and tested every system to the limit. Even ordinary citizens contributed. Farmers built supply systems for the fleet. Engineers modified engines and weapons. Students worked in labs to improve communications and sensors. Everyone played a role. Humanity was becoming a single, united force, ready for the day the Empire would strike. Alex met with his closest officers one night. "They think they are invincible," he said. "They think we are weak, but we are ready. We are ready because we are humans." "We adapt, we learn, and we never give up," Claire added. "They do not understand us. They never will. That is our strength." Lisa smiled. "And when the Empire finally attacks, they will see it. Humans are not just small and fragile. We are clever, we are fast, and we are united. That is something no weapon can destroy." Ben, watching from space, felt a quiet thrill. He could see the Empire's ships in the distance, their lights shining like distant stars. "They think they are coming to conquer," he said, "but they are coming to learn a lesson. And we are ready to teach it." The humans had prepared in every way they could. They had learned, adapted, and planned. They had trained crews, built ships, refined shields, and tested weapons. They had studied the enemy and prepared for every possible scenario. The Empire still believed humanity would fail, would panic, would beg. But they were wrong. Humanity did not need to show fear or courage yet. They only needed to survive and wait. And humans had survived worse than the Galactic Empire could ever imagine. Alex stood on the platform in the hangar, looking at the rows of ships and the busy crews. "We are ready," he said quietly. "Not because we have the biggest ships or the strongest weapons, but because we are humans. We never give up. And that is why we will survive." The Empire moved closer, unaware that the planet they believed weak and defenseless was quietly preparing to resist, to strike, and to survive. The humans had learned patience, planning, and unity. They had learned to think faster than the enemy, to adapt, and to use every advantage they could find. And when the Empire finally attacked, they would be met not with fear, but with cleverness, courage, and the quiet strength of humanity. For the first time in history, a small planet, underestimated and ignored, was ready to show the galaxy that size and power alone could not defeat a species that refused to give up. Humans had prepared. They had trained, adapted, and studied. The Empire would soon learn that while they had promised destruction, humanity had only prepared to laugh, fight, and survive. The humans had prepared, and the Empire finally moved in. The first signs were faint, almost invisible, but everyone on Earth who was watching could feel the tension. On the edge of the solar system, Imperial ships began moving into attack formation. Their massive engines glowed against the darkness of space, and their weapons systems hummed like the heartbeat of a giant. Alex Carter watched the holographic display in the control room of the Rocky Mountain base. His eyes were steady, his jaw firm. "This is it," he said. "The moment we have prepared for. Remember, they believe size and strength win battles. We know the truth. Cleverness wins battles. Adaptation wins battles. Speed and patience win battles." Claire Brown monitored the shields and sensors from her lab. Each signal from the Empire's ships was analyzed and broken down in real time. "They are moving exactly like we expected," she said. "They are confident. They do not expect resistance. That is our advantage." Ben Wilson flew his reconnaissance ship closer to the Empire's fleet. The massive ships were like mountains in space. He felt a thrill in his chest but did not show it. He stayed low, weaving through asteroids, sending back images and data to Alex and Claire. "Their weapons are ready," he said over the channel. "Their formation is tight." But it is predictable. If we strike at the right time, we can break it. Lisa Morgan prepared small, fast ships for the first engagement. These ships were not as large or as powerful as the Empire S, but they were agile and equipped with clever modifications. Lisa had worked for months designing traps and ambushes that would use the Empire's confidence against them. She smiled as she watched the crews train one last time. "They think we are weak," she said. "They do not know what is coming." The Empire fired the first shots. Massive energy beams cut through the dark of space, moving toward Earth and its orbiting defenses. The humans did not panic. The shields held, absorbing the blasts and deflecting them just enough to protect the ships and stations. Alex monitored every move. "We are ready," he said. "Do not rush. Wait for the right moment." Then came the first strike from the humans. Ben led a squadron of small ships darting between asteroids and space debris. Using the Empire's own momentum against them, they fired precise attacks at weak points on the Imperial ships. Explosions lit up the darkness, small but effective, forcing the Empire to adjust their formation. The humans retreated before the Empire could fire accurately. Claire watched the battle unfold on the screen. "They are responding slower than we expected," she said. "Every strike we make forces them to waste resources. They are learning, but too slowly." Lisa guided another squadron through a hidden asteroid field. Using cloaked sensors and drones, her ships struck at the sides and engines of the Empire's vessels, causing small but critical damage. The Empire was strong, but each attack by humans forced them to expend energy and resources they could not afford to waste. On Earth, citizens watched the flashes in the night sky. Some were frightened, but most were inspired. Humans had never faced such a threat before, yet they were holding their own. Teachers told children stories of courage, engineers explained how the shields worked, and families prayed quietly, not for mercy, but for strength. The Empire, growing frustrated, sent more ships into the fight. Their massive vessels moved faster, their weapons blazing, expecting humans to scatter. But the humans adapted. Small groups of ships split apart, then regrouped, striking in ways the Empire did not anticipate. They used asteroids, space debris, and even the explosions of damaged Imperial ships to hide their movements. Alex directed the fleet with calm precision. "Focus on weak points. Do not waste firepower on armor. Hit engines, sensors, and weapons. Make them adjust. Make them hesitate. Every second they waste is a second we survive." Marcus Lee observed the Empire's reactions and noted their mistakes. "They underestimate us," he said. "They think they control the battle, but we control the flow. Patience and planning are our weapons." Ben's squadron executed another daring maneuver. They flew straight into the line of fire, then split at the last moment, luring Imperial ships into collisions and confusion. Explosions rocked the darkness, and for a brief moment the humans had the upper hand. "Keep moving," Ben said. "Do not stop. They cannot predict us." Lisa's team used electronic jammers to interfere with the Empire's targeting systems. Imperial weapons misfired, missing human ships entirely. Small explosions erupted across the Empire fleet, and commanders began shouting orders. They could not understand how a species so small and seemingly weak could move with such precision and cunning. Claire monitored the shields constantly. Every time an Imperial beam struck, the shields adjusted. They were not perfect, but they gave human ships the precious seconds they needed to escape or strike again. "They cannot break through yet," Claire said. "Not if we keep moving, not if we keep striking smart." The Empire's confidence began to falter. They had expected humans to panic and surrender immediately. Instead, humans adapted. They survived the first strikes, struck back with precision, and forced the Empire to waste energy and resources. Each small human victory, though minor in size, caused confusion among the Imperial commanders. Alex saw an opportunity. "We will split their fleet," he said. "Draw part of their ships away, trap them in an asteroid field, and hit them hard. Timing is everything." Ben led the maneuver. His squadron acted as bait, darting in front of the Empire's main ships, then suddenly veering into an asteroid belt. Imperial ships followed blindly, not expecting humans to use the environment to their advantage. As soon as they were inside the field, hidden human ships fired from multiple directions. Explosions rocked the area, and Imperial ships collided with asteroids or each other. Lisa directed another strike at the Empire's command vessels. Using rapid-fire missiles and energy pulses, her team disabled engines and sensors, leaving the fleet in chaos. Human crews moved quickly to retreat before the Empire could reorganize. On Earth, people cheered quietly as news of the small victories spread. Even small towns celebrated the courage and cleverness of their fleet. "They are fighting," one teacher said to her students. "They are showing the galaxy what it means to be human, clever, brave, and united." The Empire, shocked by the unexpected human tactics, began to make mistakes. They fired on empty space, misjudged human positions, and collided their own ships. Commanders shouted orders, but the humans were always one step ahead, moving faster, thinking faster, and adapting constantly. Claire smiled at the screens. "Every move they make is predictable. We force them to react. That is how we survive. That is how humans fight." Alex directed the fleet to retreat strategically. They had caused damage, disrupted the Empire's formation, and survived the first strike. No one celebrated yet. They knew the fight was far from over, but every human officer and crew member understood that this was the first proof. Humans could survive the Empire's wrath. Ben returned to orbit after a daring strike, his ship battered but intact. "They are learning slowly," he said. "We are teaching them the hard way that humans are not afraid." Lisa checked her squads. "They thought they could destroy us quickly," she said. "Now they see humans are clever, adaptable, and united. They will not underestimate us again." Alex gathered his officers once more. "We survived the first strike. We did more than survive. We forced them to waste resources, make mistakes, and question their strength. But we are not done. We will continue to strike smartly, patiently, and together. Every time they make a mistake, we gain advantage. That is how humans fight. That is how humans survive." Claire nodded. "Our shields held, our tactics worked. We were patient and clever. That is what the Empire does not understand. We do not fight like them. We fight like humans. We survive, adapt, and strike when it matters most." The Empire's fleet, shaken and disorganized, began to pull back. They had expected a quick victory, and instead they faced confusion, unexpected losses, and the unyielding determination of a species they thought weak. Commanders debated, shouted, and struggled to understand how humans could survive, strike back, and adapt so quickly. On Earth, people breathed more easily, but no one was careless. The Empire was still a threat, and battles were far from over. Yet for the first time, humans laughed quietly, not with arrogance but with recognition. They had survived, they had adapted, they had fought back. And they had proven to themselves and the galaxy that humans were not so easy to destroy. Alex looked at his team and said, "The Empire believed they could intimidate us, crush us, and end us in one strike. They were wrong. We survived because we are humans. We survive because we think, we adapt, and we fight together. That is why they cannot win against us." Claire smiled. "They will remember this day. They will remember that humans are clever, patient, and united. That is what makes us dangerous. That is what makes us strong." Ben looked out at the stars, thinking of the Empire's retreating fleet. They expected fear. They expected surrender. They got none. They expected weakness. They got strategy. They expected submission. They got resilience. Humans are not easy to destroy. They never will be. Lisa checked her crews and ships one last time. "We survived the first attack. We will survive the next. And we will continue to survive because we are human. We adapt. We learn. We fight. And we do not give up." The Empire had learned its first lesson. Humans were not just a small, weak planet. Humans were thinkers, fighters, and survivors. The first strike had failed, and the humans had laughed quietly at the challenge. They had not bowed, they had not begged, and they had not surrendered. They had fought, adapted, and survived. And as the humans watched the stars where the Empire fleet had been, they prepared for the next wave, ready to strike again, ready to teach the galaxy that humans were not just survivors. They were challengers. The Empire's fleet had suffered its first serious defeat. Ships that were supposed to intimidate humans now lay broken, drifting in the cold void of space. Their commanders struggled to regroup. They had expected an easy conquest, a planet that would surrender at the first warning. Instead, they faced a species that adapted, learned, and struck back with intelligence and courage. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of one of the human command ships. His eyes scanned the battlefield, noting the positions of both his fleet and the retreating Imperial vessels. He felt no joy in destruction, only a quiet satisfaction. Humanity had survived the first wave. They had inflicted losses without overextending themselves, and they had done it together as one species united by determination and cleverness. Claire Brown monitored the shields and energy systems from the command center. Every damaged ship had been repaired as best as possible during the battle. "They underestimated us," she said quietly. "They will not make the same mistake twice, but we will be ready." Humans are always ready to adapt. Ben Wilson flew ahead of the fleet in his reconnaissance ship, keeping watch on the Empire's retreat. He observed the disorganized lines and saw hesitation in the way Imperial commanders issued orders. "They are cautious now," he said over the channel. "They know humans are not weak. They know we learn fast." Lisa Morgan directed several squadrons of fast ships to patrol the outer edge of the solar system. "We need to give them space to retreat," she explained. "We are not hunters, we are survivors, but we will not allow them to regroup too quickly." On Earth, people watched the night sky with cautious optimism. Cities celebrated quietly. Families hugged, children cheered, and teachers explained that the humans had done what no one thought possible. They had survived the Empire's first strike. Yet everyone understood this was only the beginning. The Empire would not give up so easily. Alex convened his officers for a strategic meeting. Holograms of the Imperial fleet and the human positions floated above the table. "They have retreated," Alex said, "but they are not defeated. We must be ready for their next move. We cannot be caught unprepared." Marcus Lee nodded. "We have learned more in one battle than we could have imagined. Their ships are powerful but predictable. They think size and strength win battles. They do not understand humans. That is our advantage." Claire added, "We must continue improving shields, sensors, and strategies. Every day we survive is another day we gain experience. We cannot stop now." Ben returned from his reconnaissance run and reported, "They are regrouping, but they are cautious. Their commanders are confused. They have never faced an enemy that adapts this fast. Humans are teaching them patience, cleverness, and resilience." Lisa smiled at the communication feed. "And we will continue to teach them. Not with anger, not with hate, but with the simple fact that humans survive. That is all they need to see." In the weeks that followed, humanity strengthened its position. Small colonies on Mars, the Moon, and orbital stations were reinforced. Supply lines were secured. New ships, faster and smarter than before, joined the fleet. Humans had not only survived, they had improved. Alex visited one of the largest human shipyards. Hundreds of ships, small and large, were being built or repaired. Engineers worked tirelessly, using every tool, every scrap, every idea to improve the fleet. Alex walked among them, speaking quietly with crews, engineers, and scientists. "Your work matters," he said. "Every bolt, every engine, every shield we build gives humanity a chance to survive. That is why we continue. That is why we fight." Claire oversaw the final testing of new shield arrays. "These can protect ships long enough to escape even the largest Imperial weapon," she explained to Alex. "It is not perfect, but perfection is not required. Survival is required, and we provide it." Ben continued reconnaissance patrols, mapping the Empire's movements. He had noticed patterns in their retreats and reorganizations. "They do not understand human thinking," he said. "They believe threats must be met head-on. We do not fight head-on. We fight smart, adaptable, and together." Lisa led a training exercise with new recruits. Small teams of ships practiced evasive maneuvers, ambushes, and coordinated strikes. The exercise used holographic projections to simulate Imperial tactics. "Remember," Lisa said, "we may be smaller, weaker, or slower, but we are smarter, faster, and more flexible. That is how humans win." As months passed, the Empire tried several more attacks. Each time, humans survived and adapted. The Empire's largest ships were slowed by unexpected traps, ambushes, and clever tactics. Explosions rocked space, but human crews emerged victorious more often than not. Every failed attack by the Empire reinforced humanity's confidence. On one particular day, Alex led a coordinated strike on an Imperial command vessel that had attempted to regroup near Jupiter. Using small, fast ships, the humans darted in and out of the shadows of moons and asteroids. Shields absorbed massive energy blasts while drones disrupted communications. Ben's reconnaissance team located weak points, and Lisa's squadrons attacked with precision. The command vessel, massive and imposing, was finally disabled. Its engines failed, weapons jammed, and systems went offline. The humans did not destroy it completely. They did not need to. but they made the Empire realize that humans could strike anywhere, anytime. Claire monitored the battle from Earth. "They will remember this," she said. "They will never underestimate humans again. They will know we adapt, survive, and strike when necessary." Alex spoke to his team after the battle. "We do not fight to destroy. We fight to survive, to protect, and to teach a lesson. The Empire believed size and power would win. They were wrong. Humans fight differently. Humans survive differently. That is our strength." The Empire, battered and confused, began to retreat from the solar system. They had lost ships, resources, and confidence. Human victories had not been through raw strength, but through strategy, adaptability, and unity. The galaxy began to notice. Other species who had once feared the Empire quietly whispered among themselves. If humans could survive, then perhaps the Empire was not as unstoppable as they claimed. On Earth, celebrations were cautious but joyful. Families hugged, children played in the streets, and people who had worked behind the scenes finally allowed themselves a moment of relief. Humans had survived. They had survived the Empire's wrath and had shown the galaxy their strength. Alex reflected on everything that had happened. Humans had been underestimated, mocked, and threatened. Yet they survived, adapted, and struck with cleverness and precision. "Strength is not always physical," he said to Claire and Lisa. "Strength is patience, unity, and the courage to survive. That is why humans cannot be destroyed." Claire smiled. "And that is why the Empire will think twice before threatening us again. They now know what humans can do when cornered, when patient, and when united." Lisa added, "We did not just survive. We showed the galaxy that humans are clever, adaptable, and unstoppable when necessary. That is a lesson the Empire will never forget." Ben looked at the stars where the Empire fleet had once moved. "They came to destroy us. They thought it would be easy. They found that humans do not give up. Humans survive. Humans laugh in the face of danger, and that is something they cannot destroy." The Empire sent one last message, requesting peace and negotiation. The humans responded not with fear, not with anger, but with a calm, measured offer. "We survive. We adapt. We learn. If you wish to coexist, then coexist peacefully. Otherwise, you will find that humans are not easily defeated." The galaxy slowly realized that humans were not just another species. Humans were survivors, challengers, and thinkers. They did not rely on size or brute strength. They relied on courage, unity, and intelligence. The Empire had promised destruction, but humans had survived and laughed quietly at the threat. Alex, Claire, Lisa, and Ben stood together, watching the stars. "They will remember this," Alex said. "They will remember that humans do not fear, do not bow, and do not give up." "We survived, we thrived, and we will continue to do so," Claire nodded. "Humans are not the strongest, not the largest, not the fastest, but we are clever, patient, and united. That is why we always endure." Lisa smiled. "And that is why the Empire will never forget the day humanity refused to be destroyed." Ben added, "They thought they could conquer us. They found out that humans adapt, learn, and survive. That is our greatest weapon." In the quiet that followed, humans prepared for the future. They repaired ships, strengthened colonies, trained new crews, and improved technology. They did not celebrate arrogance or pride. They celebrated survival, cleverness, and unity. The galaxy had seen what humans could do, and the Empire had learned that destruction was not so simple. And as humanity looked out into the stars, they laughed quietly, not at cruelty, but at the audacity of those who thought humans could be so easily destroyed. They had survived, adapted, and taught the galaxy a lesson that would never be forgotten. Humanity was clever, resilient, and unstoppable when united. The Empire had promised destruction, but humanity had responded with patience, strategy, and courage. In the end, humans did what they always did. They survived, adapted, and continued to thrive. The galaxy had learned the truth. Humans were not just another species. Humans were a force to be reckoned with. And humanity, as always, simply chuckled at the promise of destruction.